Hey everyone, Special Service here, and welcome to a brand new season of the finals. With season 3 in the rearview mirror, we can finally move on to what looks to be one of the most exciting and highly anticipated seasons of the finals yet. Starting us off with a brand new map, Fortune Stadium, and 3 brand new weapons for each build, it has a little something for everyone. Not to mention the brand new addition of the sponsors, Ngmo, Holtau, and Azult. This season is taking shape nicely so far. In today's video, I wanted to talk about primarily the brand new weapons that were added this season, their balance and how they play. Plus, I also wanted to talk about all the new little additions sprinkled across the game. So to start things off, I think we'll start with the dual Desert Eagles. The 50 Akimbo lives and dies by the rule of cool. Yes, there are better options out there than these pistols, but come on man, dual Desert Eagles. How can you not pick these? Well, naturally, you put any weapon in the hands of a good player, they will demolish other contestants. I found that the Akimbo Desert Eagles is the most baseline average weapon there is. Its reload speed with most of the heavy build's weapons is pretty slow. It has slightly better ADS mobility than most of the other weapons in his arsenal. And it's a pretty good long-range option for heavy, with the damage fall-off being a little bit longer than most of his LMGs. With the high damage on headshots and body shots, getting a little bit of chip damage in before a fight is never a bad thing, and these dual Desert Eagles excel in that regard. With their relatively good accuracy if you pace your shots, and pretty good hipfire accuracy, this is probably one of the most adaptable weapons the Heavy has in his current loadout. However, it is outclassed by things like the M60 and general versatility. Personally, I've been swapping between the dual Desert Eagles and the M60 a lot this season so far, trying to decide through my own experience which one is the better weapon, and it seems like the M60 is still winning most of these engagements. While undoubtedly the Akimbo Desert Eagles are the coolest weapon ever, the M60 just beats them out in my opinion. As for the medium this season, we got the Pike 556. Now, I initially wrote off the Pike during the preview event. That was my biggest mistake. I spent the past 2 days playing with nothing but the Pike when I played medium, and holy man, this thing is devastating. Assuming you don't suffer from chronic skill issue, I find the Pike is one of the easiest weapons to use to rack up tons of kills. It's insane damage over range, its huge headshot multiplier, its crazy body shot damage, and its insanely accurate hipfire. It is an incredibly versatile weapon. While it is designed for longer range engagements, assuming you aren't the center of attention and no one's pushing you right away, you can easily pick off other contestants from a distance, no problem with this thing. Once you figure out the tempo to the recoil, it's not that bad. Naturally, the one thing holding this weapon back is its small magazine capacity, but I think if this thing had anything more than 12 bullets, it would be even more overpowered than it currently is. As it stands in the medium's loadout, this is sitting right next to the AKM for me. The AKM has been the most dependable and consistent weapon for me in the finals, but the Pike is just as reliable for me. I am expecting to see the Pike receive a nerf in the next patch. It seems just a little too good to be true to me, and we all know how Season 3 launched, with some questionable balancing at best. I'm sure Embark will find a place to balance the Pike though, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Now, for the light build, we got the M26 Matter. This shotgun is a beast. The M26 has to be one of my favorite shotguns in the game. Having a shotgun with more than 2 shots on light is a blessing, especially with the evasive dash. It makes it so much fun to engage in close quarters combat. Now I will warn you, you don't always have the edge when using this shotgun. Obviously, point blank range is the best, and with light you're supposed to be sneaking up on people and executing hit and run tactics. You're not quite a frontline fighter, but with this shotgun, you can clear out objectives and power shift platforms like nobody's business. With the amount of shots in a magazine, you can confidently wipe out 2 to 3 contestants, even when they're at full health. This weapon is exceptional for singling out targets who are isolated and away from the fight, and even taking out those who are clumped together. It's just such a good shotgun. I love the thing. Now, aside from weapons, we also received a brand new feature, that being the sponsors. At the start of the season, you are given the option to sign with one of the big 3 for this season, that being Ngmo, Holtau, and Azult. Naturally, if you were cool, you would pick Azult because the other ones aren't as cool. After you sign with a sponsor, you will earn fans throughout your matches to level up your sponsor level. As you earn fans, you'll level up through the reward tiers and unlock new free cosmetics. And just like in the preview event, before you sign for a sponsor, you can see everything you unlock on the splash screen for that sponsor. But remember, you can only sign with one for the entire season, so make your choice wisely. It's Azult. There's no other choice. It's not even a contest, just pick Azult. And aside from the sponsors, we also received alternate sights and scopes for almost every single weapon in the game. These can be purchased with VRs to equip to your weapons in the customization menu under sights. They also added 2 new ranks to World Tour. While Emerald is staying at the top of the World Tour rankings, Platinum and Diamond have been introduced to spread out the field a little bit more. Obviously, Cash Out returned as the new ranked mode and had its few rule changes carried over from Season 3. And there's also new rule variants for World Tour and Ranked Cash Out. Naturally, World Tour has a little bit more of a casual rule set, while Ranked mode has a little bit more of a competitive rule set. Another addition for this season was the improved player cards, which now allows you to equip a border, a background image, and a couple of badges reflecting some of your greater accolades. However, I will say, these might be some of the less descriptive accolades I've ever seen. Now, I've come from Apex Legends, where these accolades had very specific numbers attached to them, but from what I can tell, these are just badges with associated levels. Like you have bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and what looked like diamond. I've seen it on a few people, but this just says I have gold kills, I have gold placements, I have gold game wins, I have gold revives. That really doesn't mean anything without a number attached to it. But it doesn't tell me how many kills I need to get to platinum or diamond, or how many revives I need, or how much money I need to get diamond money earned. Just isn't very informative and doesn't really work. And there's also another 10 new career levels, courtesy of a brand new sponsor. I'm going to take a shot in the dark on how you pronounce them, but I'm going to assume it's Eno and Rhino? Eno plus Rhino, Eno and Rhino. I'm not too sure how they're going to pronounce this one. And their items are a slick white with red highlights. All of their stuff looks really nice. Now, naturally, at the start of the season, there's a mountain of balancing changes, so we're going to quickly run through them in record time. The Heavy had an increase to both area and height of the anti-gravity cube. The Breach Charge was also buffed slightly. The Data Reshaper also received a buff. It has a way larger range, so you don't have to get as close to landmines and other things to data reshape them, and it also received an additional charge. The Explosive Mines were also nerfed. Instead of having 2 mines, he only has 1. The damage was reduced by 20 to 120 damage. And the cooldown was increased to 30 seconds. Glitch traps were also nerfed. Instead of carrying 2, you can carry 1, but you can still deploy 2. And the hit markers no longer go off when you're glitching players, so you can't use them as an early warning system or anything of the sort anymore. Jump pads were slightly tweaked to keep people from bouncing objects indefinitely on them like cash outs, so no longer will they perfectly bounce up in the same way every single time, but shoot in slightly off directions every time they land. The RPG-7 was nerfed again. It no longer does 140 damage, but only 100 damage, and its reload time was increased to 2.15 seconds. The tracking dart was buffed. It now has a magazine of 4, and its ammo regenerates 1 second faster, but the tracking duration was reduced to 10 seconds from 15 seconds. Zip lines were shrunk a little bit so they fit through doors better, so you're not bouncing off window frames and door frames when used in interior spaces. The Dematerializer had its targeting improved to reduce the amount of times a Dematerializer fails to make a passageway through objects. The Goo Gun was changed from semi-automatic to fully automatic, which I've been experimenting with, and it's extremely fun. The Healing Beam also received another well-needed nerf. Instead of 50 health per second, it's 40 health per second. The Mesh Shield can no longer be juggled in between firing weapons and things like that. There's now a cooldown when you lower or destroy the Mesh Shield. The 93R was buffed again, making it slightly more accurate and increasing the fire rate. And according to the dev team themselves, it's a notoriously hard weapon to balance. Obviously, the AKM lost 4 bullets. A direct impact from the CL40 now does 117 damage, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Because of course, Power Shift needed more splash damage weapons to just spam at the platform. But the fire rate of the CL40 itself was reduced to about 210 RPM. The dagger can now hold its backstab attack. The Lewis gun has a smoother recoil pattern, so it's less violent and jumpy. The LH1 was nerfed a little bit. Its damage fall-off range is a lot shorter. It's now around 50 meters. The M60 got an increased fire rate, and that's why it's been so dominant this season so far as a heavy who isn't using dual Desert Eagles. The MGL32 got a slightly faster reload time. The recurve bow got a little bit of a buff towards damage. The Riot Shield now does 90 damage per swing. And the SR-84 sniper rifle for light is now an actual hit scan weapon at 40 meters of range. After that, an actual bullet projectile spawns to simulate gravity and drag. And As same with the dagger, the throwing knives in their secondary attack can now be held for better accuracy, and that is it for the mountain of balancing changes for this season. But yeah, in summary, of the brand new weapons added this season, the Desert Eagles are underperforming a little bit, the Medium's rifle is fantastic and slightly overpowered if I have to be honest, and the Light Shotgun is just that little cherry on top just for me. But other than that, guys, I have nothing else for you guys today. If you haven't already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. It immensely helps out the channel. And if you haven't already, join my Discord link below. I'm on most days playing the finals, and you can catch me in there. With all that said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.